It's Sunday, April 30th, 2023. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Hey, VC, TC Kirkham here, the Kirkham Report. Welcome to my show. Day late because of some more ridiculous crises involving the house. Hopefully this will all be over tomorrow like it's supposed to be. Going to be a fairly short show this week. I don't have that much to show, but I do want to talk mostly about Record Store Day, which was last Saturday, a week ago, yesterday, and what went on and everything. I got a couple of other things I want to show off to you. Let's get things started with this week's cover story. Well, Record Store Day 2023 has come and gone. I've heard lots of interesting things about it, some good, some bad, some in between. Now, of course, I did my usual mail order stuff, and I'll talk about that later on. But the big story, of course, was the second year in a row Taylor Swift released something new for Record Store Day. And, of course, the Swifties were out in force. Taylor's loyal following wants everything she does, and that's cool. I'm the same way with Hanson. I know people that are that way with the Grateful Dead box sets. It's everybody's taste, but the question is, are Taylor Swift's fans getting in the way of real fans when it comes to Record Store Day? Ultimately, I don't think so. Some people have complained that the Swifties were there only for Taylor Swift stuff, but yet studies show that this year that changed. Last year that was true. They were coming in just for Taylor, and that was it. This year, a good 20% of them are estimated to have actually picked up other records at the same time. Not necessarily Record Store Day titles, but other records in the store. That is a good start, and that's where we need to go with these high-profile releases. Now, surprisingly, there's still a few Taylor Swifts out there. Of course, they released, I think, 16,000 copies of it, which was an incredibly high number for a Record Store Day. It may have been even higher than that. I don't remember. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I didn't even attempt to get it. But in any case, her making everyone aware that she has something new coming out on Record Store Day is helping bring a high profile to Record Store Day. Now, I did see a few complaints that said, yeah, hey, the Swifties are in the line, I'm going to be 50th in line, I'm not going to get anything, blah, 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 which actually proved not to be true. In fact, a number of stores, major stores around the country, actually divided their lines into two. One for just Swifties that wanted just the Taylor Swift album, and one for everybody else who wanted everything else, including the Taylor Swift album. It went pretty well from what I understood. The Swifties got what they wanted, the other people got what they wanted. It all worked out. I love Mazzy's take on everything. Mazzy actually had a copy of the Taylor Swift album in his hands and gave it to somebody else because he had the last copy in that store, and she actually offered to buy his purchases, which I think was really nice. It does show that Taylor Swift's fans are out there and are interested in Record Store Day, not just because of Taylor Swift, but because of the whole culture. Record Store Day is supposed to be about making friends in the vinyl community, which is what we are. I admit, I don't go out to these crowds. I'd rather take my chances with mail order, and I did pretty good this year. But for the most part, I know friends in the vinyl community who thrive on this. My friend Katie over at Vintage and Vinyl always goes in person and always takes video and talks to people in line. It's always fun watching that. Mazzy does the same thing. Steve Carlson has done that in the past. This year he had other plans. A lot of people enjoy that. It's not my bag. I'd rather sit back, wait a day, grab what I can on mail order. Unless there's something new that I'm really crazy about getting, I probably should have went in person and one of the 2020 drops where Koya Niscasi was available, because I've never been able to grab that, and I'm not paying the enormous price they're now asking on Discogs. But overall, Taylor Swift's presence in Record Store Day has helped. Now, the record labels haven't helped a lot. Their prices have gone up enormously. And sometimes I haven't heard any problems about quality this year, which I had heard back in 2021. There were several that had been sitting on the shelf. A lot of them tended to be warped, or they were pressed off center and nobody knew it until too late. That didn't happen this year. As far as I can tell, it was pretty successful and pretty straightforward. So if we're going to get major artists involved, that's great. And it's great that they bring their fans in, but they should also be telling the fans, like Taylor Swift indeed did, don't just buy my album, support the record stores, pick up other products. Taylor's been doing that. She's a huge vinyl fan, I understand, and really gets what Record Store Day is all about. Despite my personal disdain for the woman, I happen to like that about her. And I think that there's something really special about getting artists and fans involved in Record Store Day. Who knows? Maybe vinyl will be the preferred listening before too long, because streaming's falling out of favor, and CDs are coming back slightly, cassettes are too, but vinyl is still exploding, and that's a good thing. And mostly it's due to ambassadors like Taylor Swift, this year's ambassador Jason Isbell, and their fans, and what they do for Record Store Day. It helps make it a success all the way around. So people who are disdaining Taylor's presence, don't be too hasty. It actually might be a good thing. And that's this week's cover story. I'm going to do Out of the Box a little bit differently this week, because I normally do it all at once, but I've got a couple other things I want to show in a couple of other segments, so I'll talk about those. I only have one thing to show on Out of the Box, and this is one that I couldn't wait to get a hold of. Now, you guys know me. I have certain artists I absolutely adore, and this gentleman is one of them. He's been releasing singles off of this album for the last year online, and finally, we have a hard copy. If you don't know who he is, you need to research and find out, because he is one of the greatest storytellers of our generation. This is the new album from Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, Tilt at the Wind No More. It is on CD. It is not out on vinyl yet. It is supposed to come out on vinyl this summer. Andrew I first found when he did the vocals for Lindsey Sterling's Something Wild from the film Pete's Dragon. I went nuts over that song and have found all of his stuff prior to that. I adore this gentleman. He writes incredible songs, and this album features some stuff that I've featured over the last few months on the show on various segments of the Discover the Music or whatever. Including a great song that's actually the current single, "Living Lying on the Roof on the Hood of Your Car." It also includes Skywriting and VHS, which were out prior to that, and the just released album track that's on streaming now, which is Nobody Tells You When You're Young and Smokin' Ribbons. There's other great songs on here too. Of course, it comes with a full color booklet with all the lyrics. If you don't know who Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness is, he's been around for over a decade. And I just, everything I've ever heard by this guy just really puts a smile on my face. He tells stories in each one of his songs that are just really easy to relate to. And I love his voice. He's terrific. I would urge you, if you are on a streaming service, to look up the new album, Tilt at the Wind No More, and particularly check out the singles Lying on the Hood of Your Car and Skywriting, two of my favorite songs over the last year. The man just can do no wrong for me. I urge you to check him out because it's just absolutely worth it. Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, Tilt at the Wind No More, and that is this week's Out of the Box. It's been a while since I've done an artist you should know. I'm trying to find a good group to do for a second season of it. But I want to talk about this gentleman because I don't hear anybody talking about him in the vinyl community. And the reason for that is probably because he only had one album. It's over a decade old. And he is an amazing musician, an amazing songwriter, an amazing vocalist. I first found him on a service called Much Music US, which is now morphed into the Fuse channel. He's a Canadian artist who hit in 2001, I think it was, with his debut album. I saw the video for the first single on Much Music, and I'm like, wow, I need to find this. He has amazing elements of different artists in his voice and in his style. He does blue-eyed soul with a funk edge. It's what you might get if you took a blender and decided to make a smoothie with Prince, Lenny Kravitz, Jamiroquai, and one or two other artists in there, and throw in some old school R&B from the 60s and 70s as well. Al Green, Al Wilson, and then hit puree. And what you come out with is this incredible debut album from 2001 that is still his only full-length album because the sales were very disappointing, and he was a little disconcerted, I think, with it. And now it has come out on vinyl, and it is a very difficult purchase to make. This is Remy Shand and The Way I Feel. I adore this album. I have played it to death for the past decade. This is from Universal Music Canada. I had first ordered it from iMusic in Denmark, where I get a lot of imports, and I mean, I love them. They get stuff to me really quick, and they're decent prices. But they had to cancel it because the distributor was no longer selling it. So I rushed up to the Universal Music Canada and managed to get a hold of it. It costs a pretty penny on vinyl, but you can still get the CD out there. The single was Take a Message, was the first big single, and also the title track came out. But if you are a Prince fan, if you are a Lenny Kravitz fan, you need to check Remy Shand out. This guy deserved way more credit than he got. He got great reviews for this album, and for some reason, it totally stiffed when it came out. And of course, he got no American press at all. He was best known in Canada. Now, I'm going to crack this thing open, because I just got this. I just picked this up out of the box this morning. It showed up yesterday. I didn't know it was there. I just knew I had a package over there. It came out a week ago on vinyl, and this is a colored vinyl edition. Album 1 is red, and album 2 is supposed to be blue. I'm obviously going to need I'm not going to undo the gatefold yet because I want to save that hype sticker. And of course, I'm going to have a Carlson moment again, having trouble getting it back in the sleeve. Is there something in there? No. Alright, well, we'll do that in a minute. Let me see. I don't think it comes with anything else. The second album, sides 3 and 4, are on blue vinyl. Now, you can get it on black vinyl for a few bucks cheaper, but the colored vinyl is very cool. and I just want to make sure. I don't think there's a download or anything. I cannot stress how much I love this guy. And I think it's a shame, I think it's a travesty that he has only got stuck with one full-length album, and he's released a few tunes here and there on his own since then. They're very hard to find. At least I haven't had any success. Most of them were on CD or cassette. And downloading is just, they're not there. You can't find them. I want you to remember this guy's name, and I want you to look it up. This is important. He is an artist that could have been a major star, and for some reason, nobody got it. Remy Shand, The Way I Feel, this is the vinyl. You can get it from Universal Canada if they have any left. It is a limited edition. And you can see there's a little sticker right on the album. Or not a sticker, but a stamp. I don't know if you can actually see it or not. It's way here and it's not focusing, but it's a stamp that's literally on the album that says Made in Canada with a number on it. If you don't know who Remy Shand is, you have no idea what you're missing. And I urge you to check him out. The album is available on Spotify with extra tracks. And I urge you to check him out because he is definitely somebody the vinyl community would like. Most of the people, I can think of a number of people that would love this album. Steve Carlson, I think, would like this album. Anybody who's into R&B from the 70s would like this album. The man does amazing stuff, and I do urge you to please check it out. Remy Shand is definitely an artist you should know. Okay, just a quick update on my Eurovision stuff. I haven't gotten any of the write-ups done. They'll be done over the next week. I may have to do it all in the last 2 or 3 days next weekend. I don't know. But I got 37 songs to go through. I've only heard clips of all of them, and I've only seen 2 or 3 of the full videos. I'm trying to get ready for Eurovision coverage. Now, I will be doing live watch-alongs of both semifinals on Tuesday, May 9th, and Thursday, May 11th at 3 p.m. Eastern. You will need the Peacock television service to do so because the watch-along is run right there on the Peacock system. I have to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing. As I told you this last week, I will have information up on what we're going to do exactly on next week's show and next week's show notes. In any case, I'm looking forward to Eurovision 2023. The King and Queen of England, Charles and Camilla, actually helped open and reveal the stage that has been built in Liverpool, and technically it's been co-hosted by Ukraine, who won last year's contest. It's going to be a fun show, and I urge everybody to check it out, and I hope you'll come over and check it out with me in the chat room on my watch-along on May 9th and May 11th for Semi 1 and 2, and don't forget, for the first time in history, we can vote every time. It's going to be put into a Rest of the World category. You will need to download the Eurovision app on your phone, and you will need to insert a credit card number. There is no charge for voting, but the credit card becomes your proof of where you live. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. I can't wait to participate, and I hope you will too. And we'll have more on Eurovision coming up in the next couple of weeks. In the back pages today, my thoughts about Record Store Day 2023. Once again, I decided to do mail order. I went last year. I went to the Black Friday sale afterward, and later in the afternoon, everything was gone. Went to Newbury Comics. I'm like, it isn't worth it to me. It's just not, especially over here. If I was going to go in person, I'd rather go to one of the bigger stores in town in Boston or Somerville or Cambridge. It isn't going to work in the suburbs. So I decided to do mail order, and you know, when I first looked at it, I wasn't that impressed with the list. I ended up buying 10 or 11 things, and I don't have any. I only have one thing so far, and I'm going to show it in a minute. But this year I was a little bit taken aback by Newbury Comics. Newbury Comics is my local semi mom and pop chain. It's in the Northeast. They have stores in all of New England plus New York, and I think there's even one in New Jersey and Philadelphia now. They're expanding slowly. I was appalled to find their prices $5 to $6 higher than everyone else. Now, normally, I would go online, and Newbury's is where I'd start. This year, I took my time, went to Newbury's, saw the outrageous price that they had for one particular title, and went looking for it and found it at the list price. And I'm like, wait a minute, the list price is $44.99. Newbury's is asking $55.99 for the same album. I mean, that's hardly kosher. I understand markups are needed for this. I mean, you can't make any profit if you don't have a markup. But that was ridiculous. I mean, most places go up maybe a buck or two, maybe $3, $11. Newbury's, really? I better not hear a bankruptcy declaration in your near future, because that's not gonna surprise me if it happens, because the only reason you'd have to gouge your loyal supporters is something going on financially that nobody knows about yet. And I hope that's not it. We've already lost Bed Bath & Beyond this last week. We don't need to lose another records and comics store. To the credit of the people I did use, I went to the usual sites I always go to, and a couple of newer ones that I've gotten connected with through newsletters. So I ended up collecting. I picked up nearly everything I was really interested in. The only thing I missed was the Eric Carr, which was very limited, and which Kim has the original of anyway. I was buying it for her. She does have the original CD, but I wanted to get her that cool Kiss cover and the additional tracks. But she was cool with it. I missed out on that, but I did pick up everything, pretty much everything else that I wanted. One of the things I did want the most is actually the only thing that I have actually got so far from Record Store Day. It arrived again this morning, and yesterday, but I just picked it up this morning. And this is from my friends at Rough Trade in New York, who have always done me well for Record Store Day, and a few of their sales. They do great stuff. If you haven't checked them out, I urge you to do so. And I didn't think I was going to get this, because it's limited to 3,500 copies. It was very regional from what I understood, and they still had it left on Sunday morning, and I grabbed it. And the reason I grabbed it is because it features a man that as the lead singer of the band here, but a man who I just think is one of the best rock vocalists of all time. And I have them all on CD, and I have two of them on vinyl. This is the debut album from Mr. Big. Mr. Big, featuring vocalist Eric Martin, Pat Torpey on drums, Billy Sheehan on bass, and Paul Gilbert on guitar. This did not have any big pop hits on it. The second album, Lean Into It, which came out last year on Record Store Day, had To Be With You, which was their #1 hit. Eric Martin, I have loved my entire life since my 20s, when his debut album came out with the Eric Martin Band. I have all of his solo stuff. I have his stuff with Mr. Big. I love his voice, and his mid-2000s CD Timeless which it's a covers album featuring him doing covers from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, even far back as 70s. The thing that blew my mind was his cover of Superstar, Leon Russell's song that was a hit for Carpenters in the 1970s. Um, it's brilliant. His version of My Heart Will Go On was fantastic. Eric could sing the phone book, and I would be there. And Mr. Big, because of him, has always been one of my favorite pop metal acts, and I'm very happy to add this to my collection. I have not opened it yet. It does have, as you see, solid blue vinyl, and it is limited to 3,500 copies, which mine is number 1087. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show it off like Melinda Murphy always does. But in any case, I'm very happy to have this, and I will have a report on the rest of what I bought this year as they come in, probably, hopefully next week. In any case, it was a pretty successful record store day, and I'm looking forward to getting. I used 2 new outlets that have been recommended to me by other members of the VC, and one of them said they may be delayed by up to 14 days, which I don't understand, but that's cool. I don't have a problem with that, and they can arrive whenever they need to. I'm not in any hurry. Not like I have any time to play them right now, which I will be trying to make time to do in the next few weeks. But once again, it's out of the way, and I hope. One thing I noticed this year, and rightfully so, people were complaining about the prices, and like I said, if you're going to gouge your customers, like Newberry's was doing on everything. I mean, the title I was most interested in, Hot Summer Night, Donna Summer's VH1 Live special, $44.99 list, $55.99 from Newberry's. I got it for list price from somebody else. I'm like, or maybe it was 46. It was not that high, and even the singles, the 12-inch singles, which were running anywhere from 14 to 19, were 21 to 28 on Newberry. What the hell were you thinking, guys? In any case, I hope everybody had a wonderful record store day. I hope you got what you wanted. Hope you didn't miss out on too much. I know I didn't. And I will have a full report on what I'm getting in the next week or two. And that is the back pages for this week. Time for me to mosey on out of here. Unfortunately, this weekend will not feature a radio retro. I'm not going to have time to do it. We had a minor crisis yesterday with our building thing. We've been having problems, and I don't know if I told about this on the last show, but we had problems originally. We were having leak problems from the apartment upstairs. There was something wrong. They fixed that, or so they thought. Yesterday it happened again, but not where it happened before in the bathroom, and this time it went through the wall and shot over the kitchen floor. We had about 3 gallons of water on the kitchen floor yesterday morning, and I was working from home, so I was like freaking out. And of course, maintenance never showed up. I called them. Oh, well, they'll call the plumber and get back to you shortly. Haven't heard from them, so hopefully it'll be done. And they've had all this other stuff going on. The other thing's supposed to be over, pretty much over tomorrow, all the renovations and crap, so hopefully that will be. In any case, lots of good new music that is out there, and lots of new music I have on order that should be showing up in the next few weeks. Don't forget to check out every week on the Kirkham Report for new and exciting titles. I really hope you'll check out the Remy Shand and Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. They are both fantastic, and I hope you'll like them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you have already done so, thank you very much. And if you haven't, please do. And hopefully you'll have time to watch what I do. But I appreciate the subscription anyway. If you don't, you pick and choose. That's fine with me. Shout out, by the way, to Garage Geek for bringing me up on his most recent video. Dude, thank you so much. You were so full of praise for my stuff, and I really enjoy yours as well. And hopefully people will come over and continue to have your subscriber rate climb as well. Don't forget to share what I do. Pass it on to your friends if you like it. And always leave a comment. I love talking to you, and I love getting interaction from people watching with ideas, with comments, with queries, or just to say hello. That's cool too. I'm behind on comments because of all the crap going on with the house, but I will be catching up in the next couple of weeks. Don't forget to join me throughout the week for my regular shows. Normally, Radio Retro would be on Sunday. Is taking one more week off. Influencers, I hope will be back Tuesday. If not, it will be back the following Tuesday. Vinyl Recall will definitely be on Wednesday. Rank This on Thursday. Not sure if Label Nova will debut this week or next week on Friday, and of course the Kirkham Report on Saturday. All of those shows are at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And Daily Obscuria, or TC's Obscuria Vaults, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. This week and next week will both be devoted to Eurovision, so please check it out. In any case, I thank you for watching. I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great week, and I hope to see you soon. For the Kirkham Report, I'm TC Kirkham. Ciao, baby.